Today I want to show you how to use geometry nodes to model this particle beam for this X-wing. So we start with this model from Polygon Runway, and what I have here is the model open in Blender. So I have the cockpit and the wings. We don't want these here, we want them in a separate geometry nodes tree. And when I open this one, then I have this model. And let's go through this node tree step by step. So first I import these two objects, I set their position, and when I click now at this one and this one, I can see they are already animated with keyframes. What I do now is I transform them with an empty. So I join them and these positions are transformed by an empty object, and this empty can now be grabbed and rotated, and I will get the position accordingly. One tip that you can also do is add this lerp element here, and this adds like a small delay to what I do. So when I now move this around, then it's not that sudden of a movement, but it's a smooth movement. Okay, with this I can now start with the particle beam, and what I do first is I select this face. So the particles should only come from this face here. So I say, okay, delete all the faces, but these ones I just counted where does it start, where does it end, and then I get these faces. Next I can distribute points on this face. So let's go to frame 1 and we will see here we have randomly distributed points on this face, and I can also see here in the viewer that I have like 105 points. And next I want to store some information on these points, namely first the age, so they all start at the age of 0. Let's move this one here again, and I can say now, okay, they all start at the age of 0. Then I store their normals, that's the normal of this face, so they all point in the same direction like these normals. And the last thing I store is the speed, and some of them should be faster, some of them should be slower. So I say like it's a random value starting from 0.3 to 1, and when I move now into the simulation zone, I will show later what that does, but then I can see some move like a bit faster, some move a bit slower, and I have this distribution in space, depending on the frame. Okay, yeah, so now let's enter this simulation zone, and this is evaluated for every frame. So I started frame 1. I join this geometry with all these information stored in the particles, and then I say, okay, the age should be always +1. So when it's 0 at the first frame, then it's 1 at the second frame. Then I add speed to this particle. So you remember here we had speed. So this is a random value for every particle, but it's always the same random value. So when it's 0.2 in the first frame, it's still 0.2 in the second frame, and for the others as well. And it should move in the normal direction. So I scale the speed with the normal and offset the particle by that for every frame that this goes along. And last but not least, I delete every particle that has a frame number greater than 500. And yeah, with this in mind, I can now run the simulation, and when I press start, then I have my particle beam. And the nice thing is, when I even now rotate this empty object here, then I can even control how the particle beam is behaving. Nice. Okay, the last part is now setting instances. So these are now spheres. Then I can also set this material. In this case, it's this light blue, and I can also enable the compositor. Then I get this nice like glow effect. And now I also add the plane again. And when I now use this empty, then I can control the movement and the rotation of this object, and I get quite nice results. I hope you find this useful and see you in the next tutorial.